Welcome to the speaking person of this IELTS test, and my name is Yuvraj and I'll be your examiner for this part of the test, and I'll record this for marking purpose. May I see your identification?
Yes, sir.
Uh, Thank you. What's your full name?
My first name is Preeti and my surname is Karanjit as it is written in my passport, so you can call me Preeti.
Okay, Prati, here is your passport bank, and the speaking has three parts, and I'll give you instruction for each. And for part one, I'll ask you a couple of questions to get to know better, and some questions on a general topic. Uh, do you work or study?
I'm studying and I'm in the fifth semester and my major is economics.
Why do you study?
I study in the Kathmandu University and it is one of the best private universities in our country.
Which part of the course do you enjoy most?
The best part of my course is I usually learn new topics in every semester, and I love to learn the process of every new process and new beginning of my semester. And I usually love to learn and work in group.
Yeah. And why did you choose to study that?
Honestly, I did not choose the subject by my own. I just gave my interview to the faculty member and I just passed the admission test and they offered me the subject by themselves, and I really feel proud and really feel happy to be part of this major.
Okay, let's talk about food and cooking. So, what sorts of food do you like eating most and why?
I prefer homemade food as my mother is a very amazing cook and a very amazing cook, and um, I love eating hot popcorn and pizza actually.
Who normally does cooking at your home?
My mother does cooking, and as I mentioned earlier, she is a magnificent cook. And whenever we go outside, I usually find the idea and I try to convince my mother to start a new restaurant in the city. But she always laughs at me, and I do generally help my mother in kitchen.
Okay, in general, do you prefer eating out or eating at home?
I
Why?
prefer homemade food because homemade food are more hygienic and less expensive. As I already mentioned, my mother is an amazing cook and she really cooks very well. And whenever we go to restaurants, I usually
Okay, yes, let's talk about giving gift. And when do people give gift or present in your country?
in my country, we usually give people on wedding anniversaries, birthdays, and we usually do give people on favors of our college friends, and our teachers.
Okay, when did you last receive a gift? What was it?
Well, that's interesting question, sir. This reminds me of a gift that I received last week. A friend of mine, Christy, went to Australia to visit her grandparents, and when she got back, she brought me a perfume which was made in Italy, and that was quite expensive, and I really appreciate her for the gift.
So, okay, do you enjoy looking for gifts for people? Why or why not?
I love looking gift and browse gift from the person who are very close to me. I usually give people on their birthdays and special occasions. The process of getting gift and ordering it might be quite lengthier, but the gift shows our respect, care, and love toward that person.
Okay, this is the end of part one, and we'll continue to part two. And for part two, I'll show a card, and please don't toss the card. And you have a pencil and some note paper beside you, and you will have 1 minute to read the questions and think about the answer. Then you'll have 2 minutes to stay. And you can take a note in 1 minute if you wish. And your time, preparation time starts now. Pretty, your 1 minute represent time is up now. You please begin speaking.
So talking about the language I would love to learn is Chinese, as Chinese is spoken in China obviously, but mostly it is also speaked in countries which are influenced by China like Tibet and Hong Kong. The reason why I would love to learn Chinese is Chinese is a language which we can which we can learn from various institutes, which is very difficult, but the learning process is very beautiful. Chinese is a very difficult language, as there are no perfect alphabets, and we have to learn it from the scratch. As Japanese, Chinese is very difficult. The Chinese language is a language which we have to learn as its character and as its meaning and everything. But Chinese language is very useful in our country, as well as many of our ready-mades are exported from China, so we can establish a new business and get a new job opportunity, and which will help us in globalization, and which will bring the employment offers. um, as I have already spent my 15 years learning English language, it is quite difficult for me to learn Chinese all of a sudden. But it will be very great if I could learn new language and enjoy the process.
Okay, then I will stop you here, and your preparation time also off, and I will continue to part three. And for part three, I'll ask you some questions related to part two. Let's talk about language. Do you think grammar is important when you learn foreign language? Why? Yes, of course, it is very important to learn language in fruitful way, as grammar is very important in every language. But in the first stage, it is not that important to centralize the grammar errors, because it is very important for us to get familiarized with pronunciation and vocabulary first. But if we have to master in the language, we have to make sure we gonna make our grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation perfect. Because if we are not supposed to do that, it might be ununderstandable, or it might be understandable, but it won't be professional. Okay, why do people want to learn foreign language then? Well, at this time, it is very important to learn different language, as we are modernizing, and the education and business has been raised to international level. And I think globalization has played a main role to learn different language, as we can start different employment opportunities in abroad, and we can socialize, and we can exchange the culture from different countries to our countries. So that's why I think this is very okay. Important. Then let's talk about family. So is family important in your country? Yes, of course, family is very important in our family. Our family is our first priority, and we can do anything for our family. Our family is the main pillar of any human, and I feel very proud and happy that my country, people of my country, genuinely love and respect their family so much. Okay. Then, what role do grandparents play in a family in your country? Well, grandparents are the pillar of our family. Our grandparents are more experienced than our parents and anyone in our family, so they can lead us to a right path whenever we try to get to the wrong path. Our grandparents are the one who helps us to lead the right path, and as both of the parents are working, sometimes grandparents do look after their grandchildren. Yeah. So, how has the size of family changed in the last few decades in your country? Well, I think um,
from my experience, I think that modernization had changed the number of family in my country. As I heard that my grandfather had an extended family. They used to live with their close family, and uh, sometimes it might be 20 more than 20 people as well. uh, I think the people in this time is uh, leading toward modernization. That's why the changing
Okay.
number of family is
Yeah.
there.
So why is the number of joint family decreasing in modern time period?
So as it is very city centric and very modernization period of our era, and I think people are aware about the rapid population growth, and they are trying to decrease the number of children and decrease the number of family members, so that they can have a materialistic life and enjoy it with small and happy family.
Okay, that's the end of part three and conclude the speaking portion of IELTS exam, and you'll have your mark in about 2 weeks time with both other sections, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you. And so you can collect your password now.